Hi there. I am filming another deck collection video today. I have a lot I'm trying to do, a lot of deck collection videos I'm trying to do. This one, just because I felt like it, is, I was going through a drawer, and these are some of my out-of-print decks that I don't usually show on YouTube. This is the Elota Tarot. I've also got the Elota 2 Majors in here. This deck came in this beautiful purple pouch, and it had little charms that said Elota, I think, at one time. It came in this purple glittery paper, and then the Elota 2 Majors came in this. And I think there were 100 of these made, and you bought them separately in majors and minors. And this is the second edition, and it has, this is the second edition, and it has majors only. This one I have both the majors and minors. And I think there were 100 of each made. So this is a Taiwanese deck. It's from the Chu families who made this. And this is a deck, believe it or not, that I often use because I use it just for myself, though. I've used it for family or friends. I love the cardstock on this deck. It's got super thin, really bendable, but really durable cardstock, and it's almost got like a silky feel to it. It's some cardstock that I have not seen around since at least 2010, maybe before that even. But it's got real, the cardstock is awesome. And, you know, like in the wands, even though the wands are pips, the character, the Knight of Wands, will have the same wands. So it's tied together in really cute ways. And I love the pips in it. I just think it's a beautiful deck. Sorry, I'm outside. It's the beginning of August. For some reason today, it's not 200 degrees because we got a little cloud cover. We were having pretty bad smoke, and today there's no smoke, but I do hear some noise in the background. So I'll try and edit it and improve the sound a little when I edit this video, but I've already started. I don't have a lot of time today, so I'm going to go ahead and keep filming. Anyway, I absolutely love this deck. I use it for myself quite often. I just don't show it because it's out of print, and I don't know. This one's probably hard to find. But sometimes I just enjoy seeing people's out of print decks. When I was at my friend's house and I looked at how curated her collection was, it made me want to go through everything and just kind of see what I still love and what I might be able to pare down. Because I'd like to have a more curated collection and maybe not quite as large a collection. So today we're looking at some out-of-print decks, and my friend said there might be a tag, so I haven't watched any videos in a long time, so if there's a tag, I will find the tag and link it, but otherwise it'll just be one of my deck collection videos. Okay, this is the Loota 2, and this was majors only, I think. I don't think they did minors for this. You can switch this out and use the minors from the Loota 1, and it goes fine with it, and so you can do that. So if you want to use these majors, these are photographs. So this is more of a photographic deck, and if you've traveled or are from here, you will definitely recognize these. This is the Fool, the Magician, the High Priestess, the Empress, the Emperor, the Hierophant, the Lovers, the Chariot, Strength, the Hermit, the Wheel of Fortune, Justice, the Hanged Man, Death going into a tunnel, Temperance, and this is the Night Market, the Devil, the Club, the Tower, the Star, the Moon. I love this one. I think it's so pretty. The Sun, Judgment, in the world. And these have a little bit different backs, so they're just a different color than the first edition. Okay, so that's the Elota. All right, next I will show you the New Star Tarot. And this is by Erica McGinnis. And Erica McGinnis did some of the art in Farscape, if you know the sci-fi show Farscape. She also just does a lot of astronomical type art. And she does a lot of sci-fi art. This is a deck that's out of print. I think she's also been in Forbes, and she's pretty famous. Her art's pretty famous. So, but she did a tarot, and this was done by Indigo Eyes, and I don't know what year this came out. Anyway, this is the New Star Tarot by Erica McGinnis, and this is a fun deck by a very famous artist. And so I thought it'd be fun to show it. This one is pretty thin cardstock. Those are the backs. And I don't use it a lot because it feels kind of fragile to me. So this is more of a collector's item for me. And so I just thought, you know what, it would be fun to show you, just because I think the art in this deck is absolutely beautiful. Really, really well done art. And kind of rare. I don't see people showing this. And so I thought it would just be fun today to show you some things that I don't show on my YouTube video very often, but that are pretty cool collector's items. Oh, and you should not watch this video if you are tempted to buy things and you can't buy them, because there definitely are. Some of these probably are darn near impossible to find. So warning about that. This is more just, oh, I want to see cool things just because I want to look at the art. And I want to see people's ideas. And some of these will be easier to find. This one's probably hard to find. I love her use of colors in this. And I love her use of the space backgrounds. I just think it's really, really pretty. And the colors are so soft, yet vibrant at the same time. It's just kind of a cool thing. And I love the size of these because it gives me a chance to be able to really see what's in the art. So this is just a fun one. And I think her journal is still available. I just think the deck is long out of print at this point. But nonetheless, fun to see it. All right. All right, next I'm going to show you a deck that does come up every once in a while. It is not impossible to find. There's a lot of these, so you might just have to look around for these. So this is Daughters of the Moon, the black and white edition. It came with some instructions here. I have a book that goes with it. I'll show, I don't have the book out here. And this original deck was before the colored version. I'll show you the colored. I think I've showed the colored versions before, and that's a lot easier to find. This was meant to be colored, so when you find this deck, a lot of them are colored. So I haven't colored it, but I just think this is really pretty in black and white. And I think I've seen this on YouTube before, so I don't think it's not shown. It's shown occasionally, but not often. And I thought people might enjoy seeing it in the black and white, just in case you run across it. It might be fun to know what it looks like. This was a very feminist deck at the time. I don't remember what year this one came out. And then the color version came out pretty soon after it. But a lot of people I saw, you know, back then did color this deck. Oh, there's a lot of nudity in this video. I was going to show you one video or one deck that has too much nudity, so I don't know if I'll show that one. I'll show you the box. I don't know. We'll see if I can show it to you. Anyway, I really love this deck. I think it's a really cool deck. And I do love the black and white too. Because, and there were different versions of this that had different cardstock, by the way. And have aged differently. This one, the cardstock's kind of silky on it. And it's thin and very bendable. It's pretty... it wears pretty well. But I don't know. I have another one somewhere that I might have lost a card on, that the cardstock was different. I'm not sure where that one is at the moment. So this is a beautiful deck. And I like it in black and white. Just fun to have. And very of its time. And at some point I'll show you the color version, but I don't know if I'll have time today. If I do, I'll put it at the end. Or maybe I'll put it in, I'll splice it in. If I remember correctly, they all came in these boxes. Oh, by the way, the deck is made by Fiona Morgan. It was sometime in the 80s. I just don't remember when. They all came in these little cardboard boxes, though. And they had a guidebook with them. All right, next I'm going to show you an old deck that is called the Flying Hearts Tarot. And this is a German deck, and it's only in German, so I have not read the guidebook. I tried to use Google Translate. For me, Google Translate does not always work that well. So I don't know. I'm going to have my friend translate it because he speaks German. So I'm going to ask him to do it at some point. But this is a super fun deck. I don't see this often. I have seen it, though, occasionally. I think I might have another copy of this without the book that somebody just gave me when I was doing a trade. I don't know where that one is at the moment, but I think I'm pretty sure it's this incomplete. Some of these cards are sideways in this deck. I don't use this one a ton because it is really different. I love the cat in the world, though. I think that's what made me get the deck originally. But this is fun. And it's got some of the, like, Garden and Goblins type characters in it. Anyway, I honestly don't know a ton about this deck. I should find out more. But I thought I'd just show it to you because it's kind of unusual. I hate the boxes these little decks came in, though, I will tell you. But it's not super usable for readings for other people because, one, I don't know how to read. I at least want to translate what's on the cards. And then sometime I'll have my friend translate it. But it's also got cards that are sideways. So if you lay it out, sometimes you get sideways cards. You never know when you're going to end up with those. I guess that could be true with any deck, though, that has... But this one has a lot of cards that are sideways. Like, maybe half. I do have another copy of this somewhere. Now that I think about it, because I have the book, too. It doesn't have that plastic box. And I do think the backs on this are pretty cool. I love this black and white. I remember when we were in California, all the houses like around Monterey used to have this black and white tile on the floor during a certain period of time. Next, I'm going to show you the Andrea Picini Tarot. This one comes with a nice book that talks about each of the cards. I think actually it might only talk about the majors. I don't think it says anything about the minors. No, it doesn't say anything about the minors. This is not a common. I think there were 1,000 of these made at the time. I think this was made in the 70s. I don't remember exactly when, but I have a couple of these decks that are in these wooden boxes. And they're Italian decks. So it also has a little guidebook like that it comes with. This one I have read with. It's easier for me to figure out Italian than it is German. So I can deal with learning this. Because I know I can read French pretty well. I'm not perfect, but I can. And so it helps with Italian. Not totally. Because if I knew Spanish, I think it would be more helpful. But I love this deck. I think it's beautiful. I love its red borders. I just think it's a cool deck. And I love its backs. And I think it's fun. I do see this one pop up because there were 1,000 of them made. So it's possible to find this one sometimes. Especially, you know, at used stores. Sometimes you'll find stuff like this that isn't crazy expensive. I'm sure it's crazy on eBay, but most of the time that stuff doesn't sell, so. And I have noticed out-of-print decks are definitely getting, I've seen the prices go way down lately. So I think we kind of peaked in the tarot market. And so much is going mass market. I think people are less willing to pay large prices for out-of-print decks now. But anyway, this is a super cool deck. I really like it. And I do use this one. It's got pretty durable cardstock. It's, again, thin cardstock. But a fun deck to take a look at. And fairly easy to figure out how to read this one, even if you don't speak Italian. I have never edged the sides of this. This is the Turkei Tarot, and this is from Marisa de la Pena. This came out in 2018, and then there was a mass market edition of this deck called How to Deal that is similar. I have it. Sometime I'll do a comparison if you want me to. But this one is not super old, and it pops up fairly often for sale for not crazy prices. But it's a cool deck, and I love it, so I'm going to show it today. I just think it's super fun, and I enjoy playing with this. And I read for other people with this deck, because people just seem to love this one. It's just fun. And I like the cardstock on it. It's great. She also did the Persephone Tarot. And there was a black and white version of that, and then there was a black, white, and red version of it. So this is cool. And you might have even seen this one around. It's just a fun deck. And it reads really well, and people just seem to love it if you read for them with this deck. I'll just flip through it all. So I'll just show you all of these decks. And if I can find a hashtag for this collection, I will put it in. I just don't know right now because I'm pretty out of touch because I've just been gone so much. And sometimes at those big festivals, it's hard to even get cell service. All right, so that's the front of the box. And next I'll show you one that also is not super old. It's the Hezus, because I think this one is, you can find this one if you look for it. Or it sometimes comes up, or you can do trades. This is a deck by Mary Griffin, and it comes with a little guidebook, and it's a deck that I absolutely adore, and I love the art in it. I just think it's so sweet. I actually did a trade for this deck. I traded one of my friends for it. And then the deck I traded later, I ended up getting it back because I had another deck I was getting rid of, and somebody wanted it, and that's what they had, and then I had kind of missed that deck. So now I have this one, which I wanted the most, and the deck I traded for again back in my collection. And I am missing an old out-of-print deck, but that's okay. I love the aces in this. I just think this is just adorable, and it is just super sweet. It's early 2000s, I think. The art definitely seems like early 2000s, so I can't remember when this came out. I remember not buying it right when it came out, and then like I decided to buy it and it was out of print. And it took me quite a while to find somebody who wanted to do a trade. I don't know what year it came out. Huh. Well, I guess I don't know the answer to that. I'll look it up and try and put it in if I can remember. I love the Seven of Cups. I just think it's adorable. And this Ten of Coins. It's such a sweet deck. It's charming. And it's not everybody's favorite. And I wasn't sure at the time if I wanted it or not. And now I just use this deck a lot and all the time. It just is something I love. It's in my like regular rotation now. And the cardstock holds up pretty well. I love the Four of Rods, which is wands, by the way. Those are the backs. And this is the Hezus. I also love the Death card. I've showed this, I think I've shown this before. Next, I'll show you the Australian Tarot set. This is by Kangaroo Press. It's Granny Jones. Sometimes people call it the Granny Tarot. That's the book that goes with it, and it comes with a little box, and then that's how it comes. This is out of print at this point in time. This is a funny deck because it's sort of one of those decks that slaps you a little and just says, shut up and listen. I'm not sure what year this one came out in '94. And And it has black around the edges. This cardstock is absolutely fantastic. It's like super flexible, holds up really well, is kind of silky soft, just really great cards. So it has keywords around it, Seven of Wands, creativity, victory. And it's interesting because you can totally ignore those, but the characters have so much emotion. It's easy to like just see what it's saying. Despair, self-pity, illness, nightmares. Great Nine of Swords. And so you can kind of ignore those and just like look at it as part of the border. But then every once in a while it'll have pressure. Ten of Wands. And it is. And then Alice for the Six of Cups. Anyway, this is just an unusual deck, and it's really cute and funny. At the time, it wasn't on my radar, and now that I have it, I just think it's really fun to use and really, really enjoy it. I read with this one. It's in my regular rotation, too, just because I think there's certain times where I just want to use this deck because it's funny, and it's got a pretty good guidebook that goes with it. And you could find this deck without the guidebook and be fine, obviously. Like, everything's on the cards. You could even use this deck if you were new, I think. Love the cat on the unicycle, or the... I forgot what those are called, but this is just funny. It's got a lot of cats. It's got quite a bit of animals in this deck. I love the Knight of Cups. And the Eight of Wands. I think it's really cool. I just think this is a cool deck. And it's fun. Not something you get to see every day. And I don't think there's been anything like it. I don't see it around much. But it was published by a regular publisher. So maybe you see it more in Australia. But I feel like things are becoming so worldwide now. But some of these decks, you see them more, like when somebody's kids is selling off their collection. And so you'll go into a metaphysical store and you'll see like 20 decks that are somebody's collection. All right, that is the Australian Tarot set. All right, next we'll look at the Water Sprite Tarot. This is the book. The book is in color. This is not horribly old. It's by Mira McDonald. I keep it in a little big. I use this deck quite often too. I'll read for others with this deck. It's got kind of a laminated plasticky cardstock, and the cards are quite big. You can see compared to a normal tarot deck that it is quite large. But it shuffles fine. It's easy to shuffle. It's easy to use. It's super durable. It does come with a blank card. I leave it in. It's very RWS, but I think this deck is beautiful and charming. Katie Flowers used to show this deck quite a bit. If you watched her channel, you've probably... Or if you watched it back in the day, I'm sure you've seen this one. Because I think she just loved this deck. I love this deck too. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. And I just enjoy using this one. It has this just sweet vibe. And even though some of the cards are just as, like the Three of Swords with the broken heart, it just has this gentleness, softness to it when you read with it. And it still tells you the things, but like there's one sword in the Ten of Swords. And he's bled out, but still it's it's not quite as dramatic all the time. And like Five of Pentacles, there's somebody pretty close there with them, but somebody in the background, a guiding light. So maybe hope on the horizons. Anyway, I do think this is gorgeous. There was a reprint of this, I think, a few years ago, maybe not in the United States. I don't know if that reprint ever made it to it wasn't that long ago, but I think it stayed in Australia. I think this is in Australia. I'm pretty sure this is an Australian deck. Anyway, not terribly old, just something I don't see a lot anymore. You know, I used to see it on Katie's channel quite often, but haven't seen it in a while. That's the Water Sprite Tarot, and I do adore this one. Okay, next I will show you the Tarot of Uxcal area. This is the Basque Country Tarot. I think this was an old deck that then Fournier republished like in 1991. And so because it was mass market, you might see this around. I think you still see these pop up for not crazy prices every once in a while. And you can see them sometimes in stores. I think it was just a mass market deck in the 90s that came out. But it's a great deck. It's really pretty. I really enjoy this one. I use it fairly often. I read for other people with this one. I like the pips in this deck. It's a fun deck. And it's great to have. Not impossible to find. But, you know, it's been a while since it came out. I think it was early 90s, I think. This was the reprint. I don't have one of the originals are rare of this deck. This is just the mass market reprint of it. But it's a fun deck. It's easy to use it. It makes total sense when you read with it. I love their color choices. Just think it's beautiful. And it's one that I quite often use. And so, but not seeing it on YouTube all the time, so I thought I'd show it. Because I do think this is not impossible to get. There were two versions of this. This one was the one that came with the guidebook. I think the guidebook is in Italian. And then there was one that was just a tuck box that you could get that didn't come with the big guidebook. You probably don't need the big guidebook, honestly. So there were two versions. So this was the big version. The big version did not come with a regular box, so I keep it in a bag. And I think if you want to find it, you would look just Basque Country Tarot up and look for it. Okay. Next, I'll show you the Tarocco de Sissy. This one is not that hard to find. I see this floating around fairly often. It's mass market. It is out of print right now, but it's definitely not impossible to find this one. All right, this is a really cute deck. Here's the full. I think I have seen this maybe on Masha's channel, actually, now that I think about it. I could be wrong, but I kind of think I might have. I love the art on this, though. It's another one of those that is just, like, totally cool art. Sorry about the background noise. It's starting to get sunny, so I might just go inside and film or in this video because I've got a lot I gotta get done today because I've been gone so much. Can't believe it's already August. Anyway, it's kind of fun to go through my collection and look at my decks and see what I want, see what makes sense. All of these were ones that I for sure was gonna hang on to. So this makes it kind of easy today. there are definitely some decks I'll get rid of. And I'll just, maybe I'll create a website and put them up on there. But these I'm all keeping. These are all special decks to me. Anyway, this one is definitely around, and super cool deck, really pretty colors, and mass market. So, okay, those are the backs, and that is the deck. I'm trying to show you ones that are easier to find, along with ones that might be really hard to find. Okay, this next one is called the Iron Wing Tarot. And this is a very magical deck. It's by Lorena Barbara Moore. It's got quite a guidebook. It's a very different deck. I have not had this one forever. I got it in a trade, and I'm still reading through everything. But it's definitely a cool magical deck. And I will show you the cards. It's mostly brown. It's back in order right now because I was doing a study on it. So the cards are not labeled, so you kind of have to use the guidebook if you don't know it. But it's one of those that if you play with it, you get to know it. It's very unusual, and I think the artwork is beautiful and very much of a time and place again. And it's about the master of the forge from a goddess viewpoint, and going into that space and journeying in that realm, and ironworking. It's a very feminine deck, and the pips are black and white. The majors have brown in them. But it's really cool. And it's also just something really different that I think is fun to see, that you don't see all the time. In that it's an underworld deck. Works in that realm. And I'm still learning this deck and learning about it. And I was studying this on, you know, those tarot study sprints from, you know, that Tara does from Cozy Craft channel. And so this was one of the, on one of those I was studying this deck and the guidebook for it. So it was cool. It gave me a start there to it. Anyway, I love this one, and I think it's really cool and special. And I'm happy to have it, and I'm happy to learn more about it. So only the majors have color, obviously. You saw that, but I keep it in a Kelly Bear bag. Okay, I'm going to show you the Turkei de Garbarino. It's an out-of-print deck. There were, I think, 800 of these printed. It's all black and white. I think I showed this, maybe a little bit of it in something. So I'm figuring this one out, and I'm learning it, but I haven't totally got the hang of this one yet. Not completely. And so it's right now in my study deck pile. This and the Iron Wing are my study decks right now. And it uses an Atea system, but it's not just Atea, of course. It's much more confusing than that. Anyway, it is a cool deck. And I really like, you know, it'll have little hidden things in the cards. I like the line drawings of it. It's just cool. And I'm just going to show the whole thing because it's unusual and it's a fun deck. And because it's something I'm using right now. I should say learning right now. And I don't see people talk about this one, but that's not surprising to me at all. Just because it's really unusual. It's not a simple thing to figure out either. My cat mushroom is right next to me. I think he's going to jump down. He's been taking a little nap. He always likes to come around when I film. He's not making his presence today in the video, though. Anyway, I think this is a beautiful deck. I think it's really special. And it's got really cool backs. It's got, like, they're metallic. I don't know if you can tell. Sun's starting to come out, so might get hot. Might have to go inside and actually I'll probably be done for the day and just post this. Okay, warning. I'm going to show you this deck. It's very, very graphic. It's got a lot of kink in it. I think that you might have seen the card in one of the Taschen books. It's called Tarot Erotica. It explores the dynamic energy between male and female in lucid symbology. It is not just nudity. It's very sexually explicit art. So if you are offended by this or you have any kids with you, I would stop the video. This is the last deck I'm going to show today, so you could just stop here. But it's very graphic. I'm going to insert this in. It's very graphic. Did I show you this? This is a super cool deck. It's by Lori Walls. It's Tarot Erotica. It's got quite a bit of pretty graphic nudity in it. So I'm going to just see. I may have to cut it out if it's too graphic. So anyway, warning, there's a lot of nudity in this deck. It's a cool deck. I think one of the cards, maybe this card right here, was in one of the tarot books. I don't remember which one now. I think one of the Taschen books, actually. So I think people might have seen that card, but I don't know if you've seen the rest of the deck. And probably it's not shown that much because it has so much nudity. So it is an erotic deck. So be warned. I'll put a warning at the beginning of this. But I actually think this deck is great. Well done. I like these older erotica decks. I think they're fun to have. I have quite a few of erotica decks just from years of collecting. Oh, and this one is super graphic and might be very offensive. I will put a warning at the beginning. All right. This one's in very good shape. The cardstock is great. It's not mass market. It looks like a mass market deck. All right, I think that's it for today. Thanks for watching. See ya.